We're here at Hammonton International Airport, and we have interviewed David Hanna, and he has given us answers to some questions that we had made up. Me and Alan here doing our homework for Mrs. Alvino's third period class. Your turn.
Now I'm going to read something to you about the airplane. This is an introduction. The airplane, the only machine that lets you fly like a bird, created by the Wright brothers for everyone in the world to see and ride. Now, we have some questions created by me, Alan, and my cameraman. Well, really, he is a cameraman, but it's Tony.
Okay.
We are here at Hammonton Municipal Airport, and we're reporting for you. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, we asked David Hanna when the airport started, and when it was established, more like, and he said it was built in 1968. Whom did it belong? The land belonged before to a blueberry farmer, preferably one of the Rosats. And that was a long time ago. The guy's probably dead now. I don't know. This airport costs a lot of money to make, probably. But Mr. Hanna didn't tell us how much. He just told us it was federal money which made it. And let's see. It was the Hammonton town. They wanted to make this airport because there wasn't one around here, and this airport is a major base for people trying to get to Atlantic City from Philadelphia, but not large commuter planes like TWA and that. And the general manager of this is Paul Rainier. And there's no one person that owns it. The town of Hammonton owns it, and we pay taxes to have it run daily, and it goes with federal money. Weather's never a problem, right, Alan?
Right.
That's why we couldn't go up today, but it wasn't the weather's problem, it was the cloud cover. And they take regular citizens on flights, but it might cost money, and it takes 2 years for a flight school. We asked him, how do you rate this airport on a scale of 1 to 10?
10 being the highest.
Yes.
Yes.
He said a 9, preferably a 10 because this is the best airport.
Yeah, municipal airport. Because all the larger airports are, they're larger and they're going to be better. But, this is the largest, best municipal airport. But he rated it a 9 because he did. We'll be back after this. Okay. How fast are the plane's average speeds?
The average speed of an airplane differs with each different airplane. But this airplane here travels about 115 miles an hour, or about 105 nautical miles an hour.
How many planes do you have at this airport?
We have about between 30 to 40 airplanes on the airport itself.
Do airplane pilots have to pay rental to keep their planes here?
Yeah, you have to pay $30 a month if you're on the grass, or $35 if you're on the blacktop.
Okay. This airport, why doesn't it have a control tower?
It doesn't need it. It's an uncontrolled airport. Certain airports only have control towers due to their traffic capacity. They have a lot of airplanes coming in or out. We don't really need a control tower until they want to expand the airport, or we get a lot more airplanes in here.
What do control towers do?
Control towers clear the traffic for landing at an airport. They also space the airplanes, so when they come in, they keep them equally spaced due to safety reasons.
Is there a radio communications base for all the other airplanes?
Radio communications, each airport has its own frequency that it monitors. There is a radio.
What is the frequency?
Frequency is 122.7 megahertz.
Which is right there?
Which is right here. This is our radio here we use for communicating in the air or on the ground. This here is our navigational, which is tuned into this omnidirectional bearing. This here is tuned into a radio station that is approximately 15 miles from here, and we can fly to or from that station. There are 360-degree radial, there are 360-degree roads coming away from there. Sure. This is our airspeed indicator. It tells us how fast we're going. It's regulated by underneath the wing, there's a little piece of metal that comes out with a hole inside. Air, and the fast it goes, the speed, velocity of the air goes through and it registers on here. There are two gauges on this one. It tells you nautical miles per hour that you're traveling. The outer scale, the bigger numbers are miles per hour. This here is your attitude indicator. It's a gyro that is in reference to the Earth. This here will always stay parallel to the Earth, no matter what operation you're in. Your outer scale out here tells you the amount of banking you're in. Each one is at 10 degrees. So if you want a 30-degree bank, you go to the third line over. This here tells you what rate of climb you're at. You got 500 feet per minute, 2,000 feet a minute climb. This here is your altimeter. It's actually a barometer that tells you what altitude you're at due to your barometric pressure. Your barometric pressure is right here. Right now, the barometric pressure for this airport right now is 30.10 inches of mercury. Or in millibars, it's approximately 1,020 millibars. Now again, this is our omnidirectional radio beacon, which means that there are 360 roads, if you might call like a spoke on a wheel, that all go to that station. So you can tune in any one of these and go either to or from the station. That's how we navigate. This is our turn coordinator. It tells us if we're in a level bank, turn, and that's an inclinometer. It tells us if we're a coordinated turn or if we're skidding or sliding through the air. The globe will tell us it's like a level on a level, I should say. This is our directional gyro. This here is a gyro, and it's coupled. It's not coupled with anything. What you do is you can set your desired heading. You set your heading before your flight, and during your flight, what you do is you set it every 5 or 10 minutes. You always check that with your magnetic compass up here. This is your vertical speed indicator. It tells you in feet per minute how high you're climbing in feet per minute or descending in feet per minute. Okay, this is actually our power gauge, as you might call it. It's our RPM or tachometer. It tells us how many revolutions per minute the propeller is turning right now. Right now the propeller is turning 1,100 revolutions per minute. During takeoff, we always have it around, at full power, it's around 2,200 RPMs. And once we get climbing, it'll rise up to about 2,500 RPMs. At cruise, we'll power back to our cruise settings, which are around between 2,100 and 2,400 RPMs, which are our cruise. It depends on how fast you want to go, and it depends on how much fuel you want to burn. This is our engine primer. This pumps gasoline to the cylinders directly for when on cold days the airplanes are sometimes hard to start, so they put in a primer that pumps raw fuel into the cylinder so it fires. These are all our engine gauges and fuel gauges. This is our left fuel gauge for the left wing out there, our oil temperature. This is our fuel pressure and our engine-driven fuel pump. We have electric-driven fuel pump, which we can activate by this switch right here. We have two fuel fuel pumps. If the electric fuel pump should actually quit, hopefully the engine-driven fuel pump will work. That's why we always have a backup. Oil pressure gauge and our right fuel tank. Okay. This is our Loran, which we use for navigation. Also, it's an additional device that people put into the airplanes. It's all due to latitude and longitude. Everything is reference to that. This airport here has a certain longitude and latitude, and if you know that, if you know how to program these, you can program it right to this airport from anywhere in the country. You go directly to this airport. This is our transponder. This is what actually tells air traffic control where we're at and actually our altitude. When we call air traffic control on this we have a certain frequency for air traffic control, which is 124.6 when we're taking off from here. It's called Atlantic City approach. We tell them that we just departed the airport, and what we do is they give us a number, which we put in here. We can turn these numbers here. They give us a certain number. Each airplane's given a certain number. And when you say identify, you push this button right there, which lights up the screen where you're at so they can pick you up instantaneously. And they have all your, this is what regulates air traffic control. This is when they tell you, they try to keep you spaced from airplanes while flying. They'll tell you an airplane is either at, they give it to you like in reference to a clock. They'll tell you it's a 9 o'clock position, 3 o'clock position, or 12 o'clock, or 6 o'clock. So when you're flying, they'll tell you if an aircraft is at 9 o'clock, so many miles away from you, and they tell you the direction of flight the airplane is at that present time. Okay. This is our throttle right here, just like on a boat. To advance the throttle, all you do is just push the throttle forward. And you can see the RPMs also rising while we're doing it. This is our mixture control. This regulates our fuel and air mixture in the engine. We always leave it in a full rich position, which means it's getting the maximum fuel and maximum air. Down here, as you can see, it's like a key switch. This is our magneto. We have 2 magnetos in the airplane, which actually fires. It keeps the airplane firing. What they do is, in case we do lose our battery at any point, with the engine turning, it's generating its own electricity. And it's firing itself and keeping everything going. You have 2, so you always have one as a backup. This is our carburetor heat. For any instance that we're flying through the air and any moisture, the carburetor is sitting out in the engine. And it can have a tendency to ice up, which will cause the engine to quit. During flight, what you do is if you get any indications, which is a little roughness in the engine, you apply the carburetor heat, and it ducts all the heat right to the carburetor, melts off the ice. Well, what I'll do is I'll show you a sample. This is called our run-up prior to takeoff. If we were going to fly today, which is not exactly the best day to fly, the way we check out an airplane, before we take off, make sure everything is running, is we do a run-up. And what we do is we advance the throttle to about 1900 RPMs, and we check our magnetos. Check the right mag, and we check the left mag. You'll see there is a drop in RPMs. Everything's running smoothly. Then we check the carburetor heat. See a drop in RPMs, we turn it off. idle, see where the engine's idling at. The reason we check the idle is because once we're coming into a landing position, we have to pull the throttle all the way back. And if the RPMs are enough to make the engine quit, if we had to do a go around, if something ran out on the runway or something like that, we had to advance the throttle, the engine might quit. Or if the RPMs are too high on idle, it'll affect our speed coming in on our landing. Down here is our flaps. You see on the wing out there that when I move this lever up and down, this is our flaps. What this does, it aids us in landing, whereas it increases our angle of descent without increasing our ground speed. So once we know we're coming in for a landing, we can slow the airplane up. Once we get our appropriate power setting and also our airspeed that we want for coming in for a landing, we regulate it by our flaps. There are 3 positions. There are 10 degrees, 20 to 25 degrees, and 40 degrees of flaps. This is considered full flap. This is when landing is assured and we are coming in for a landing. This is our trim indicator. What this does is it reduces the back pressure on the control wheel while flying. So if the nose feels heavy while flying, it relieves the pilot of a lot of pressure, and you move the trim back or forward depending on what you need. This is our park and brake down here that we can use while stopping. And right over here is our fuel switch. We can switch tanks while flying or on the ground. We can fly off of one tank or the other. Some airplanes actually feed off of both tanks simultaneously. This little button here, this little light here is our stall indicator. During flight, if we get into an attitude where the wing can no longer keep the airplane flying, that light will come on, which there is a switch out there on the wing that goes up and down. When a disturbance of air goes over top and the airplane is no longer able to fly, that light will come on, which is telling you are close to a stall situation, which means the airplane can fall out of the sky unless you recover, which is usually between the low end of the airspeed indicator. This is our microphone, which we use to talk to other airplanes or control towers or air traffic control. This here is our airplane number. Each airplane has a different registration number. Whenever you're talking to air traffic control or you're reporting where you're at in the traffic pattern itself, you always give them this number and tell them the type of airplane you are. That way they know what airplane to look for. And it's also a good idea while you're coming in to tell them your number in case something does happen. They know which airplane was supposed to be coming in at that time. Okay, I'm checking on both ends of the runway, making sure nothing is coming in, because some airplanes do come in this type of weather. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to taxi out on the runway a little bit, let you see how it looks on the runway itself. By the way, you saw this move? This is called our control yoke. This regulates our ailerons on the wing, which lets us roll. As you can see out on the tips of the wings, it's moving as I move this. Or it also makes you go up and down, which is on the tail. Okay? As you can see right down the center line of the runway right now. And you can see the numbers on the runway. That's the magnetic heading of the runway, which now I would set the directional gyro to that whatever heading it is once I'm center line. normally, if we were going to go flying, I'd advance the throttle all the way, and we'd take off and fly wherever we wanted to go. I'll taxi down our runway a little bit, and I'll pull off on the taxiway, middle taxiway. Those lights out there are precision approach lights, which means that tells you if you're high or low while you're coming in on a landing when they're lit. Now I can activate the runway lights. I put the radio on, I put the frequency to the runway lights as 123.5, and I click the mic 3 times. Watch the lights. 1, 2, 3. See, they went on. You can activate them at night while you're coming in, and also during the day if the visibility ever does get low, you may need the precision approach lights out there to actually find the runway sometimes if you get in visibility that's a little below and you can't see very well. This runway here is 3,000 feet long by 75 feet wide. Each runway is different by way of length and also width. As you can see, look from here, that's how we'd be coming in if we were landing. Right over top of those trees and landing right on that runway right there. Now we'll taxi back. And do you have any other further questions you need to ask me?
Yes, 2 more. Were there ever any accidents that were fatal?
Yeah, we had a fatal accident here once. We had a mid-air collision. Our airplane was taking off. He did not use his radio, and one was coming in, and one airplane went right up into the other one. Killed everybody.
How do you find out how the accidents occurred?
Well, a lot of times it's eyewitnesses. Pilots actually see other planes collide, or it's hard to say exactly. Accidents happen due to equipment failures on the airplane, or it's pilot error. That is all up to the National Transportation Safety Board. Once an accident does occur, it's up to them to determine exactly what happened and why. They determine if the airplane ran out of fuel, if it was the pilot's error, or if it was equipment malfunction that actually caused the accident itself. Now I'm taxiing back to the tie-down area.
To get knocked out, the other one would control it.
Right. Now, when you take lessons, the airplane has to have 2 of these. For that matter being, if something does happen, the instructor has to be able to take over the airplane. Most airplanes are equipped with 2 of these, but yet some airplanes only have 1. But all training airplanes must have dual control units. Well, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to fly today. The actual cloud layer is below usual today due to all the weather coming in. Stop back and I'll take you up one day.
Okay.
When the weather gets better. Okay? Shutting down the airplane, I turn off all radio equipment, make sure everything is off. Okay, I turn the rotating beacon off. I bring the power back to 1,000 RPMs. Now all I have to do now is pull back the mixture control, which cuts off the fuel to the engine. And you see the engine does quit. Okay. turn the battery and alternator switch off, and turn the key out, and take the key out. And that's it, other than flying.
Okay.
And that's what a pilot goes through each time he goes up to fly. He has to check all this stuff out, make sure everything is working properly before you go up. It's unlike a car. Many people just hop in a car and go. An airplane, you can't do that, because you can't stop along the road and fix your mistake. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. And again, once the weather clears up, I'll take you up flying. That way you'll be able to get a picture of the air, picture of the countryside, and how everything looks from the air. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Antennas on the airplane.
Okay, each antenna has a different function. Okay, that antenna up there regulates the communications for the airplane. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That one there runs the Loran, which is the navigational, that little box I showed you for the Loran. This here is your communications antenna, which all your things that are transmitted and talk to other airplanes or air traffic control is transmitted through here. This is your emergency locator antenna. What this does is there's a battery in here, which if it gets jarred in any way will send a signal to a satellite, which is picked up by a satellite and sent to the nearest Air Force station around the world. We've gotten calls from Russia and everything about they're picking up ELTs. That's what they're called, emergency locator transmitters. That gives the rescue party about a 5-mile radius for them to find you, and then the search and rescue pinpoint it from there. You can get the ELT out from this plate right here. If you ever do crash, you always want to stay with the airplane. Okay, that's your navigational. That's your Omni. What I showed you, that little round that looks like a 360 spoke on a wheel. That's what picks that. That's what picks that up. I'm sorry. Okay. This is your control, which regulates the airplane to go up or down. This is called the elevator or horizontal stabilizer. As you can see, for the airplane to go up, you pull back on the wheel, which causes this to rise up in the back, which causes pressure. Everything on an airplane is due to pressure. High and low pressure. High pressure on the above and low pressure below causes the airplane to lift. This is that trim which relieves the forward pressure on the control wheel while flying. This is the rudder. This is what actually steers the airplane this way against around the vertical axis of the airplane. There are 3 axes on an airplane. The lateral axis goes from wingtip to wingtip, which pivots from the elevator here. The longitudinal axis, which goes from tip to tip on the fuselage, is regulated by the ailerons, which causes the roll. Now, if you want to pivot around a point to actually crab into the wind, which you have to do to maintain a straight track while flying, use the rudder, just like on a boat. Okay. Number of the airplane right here, as if you remember when I showed you in the airplane. Whenever you tell air traffic control your airplane, you have to give them this number. That way they know who you are and what you are, and everything is registered in the computer. This is your flap. This is what regulates your angle of descent without increasing your ground speed. This is that big lever that was on the floor that I raised and lowered. It's got 3 positions on it. Okay? This is your ailerons. This is what makes you roll. If you bank the airplane left, be higher pressure below the wing, therefore this wing will raise up. Whatever this aileron does, the other one does opposite. This one goes down, the other one goes up. Morning. Alright. Okay, I'll take you around here and I'll show you the actual. As you can see, there's 4 cylinders. Every before a flight, the pilot always checks everything on the engine, make sure there's no oil leaks. Checks the oil by way of the dipstick. And it's all marked there. So as you can see, everything is compact in here. And if you look in here, you can see there's one of the magnetos right there, what actually fires the engine right there. And you see all the wires that go right here to each one of the spark plugs. This is the muffler. This is for your defroster, which comes out here, which defrosts the windshield for you. And what I'll do is, and you're also able to drain each one of the tanks, because due to moisture, water will cause the engine to quit. So therefore you can check to make sure there's no water in your tanks at all. There's a draining which is under here, which allows you to drain the fuel, which is the lowest point of the tank, where all the water would seep, because the water is heavier than the fuel. So all the water would come down here. Each tank has those. This is the propeller here. You always want to stay away from the propeller, because it can start at any time. Even though the key is out, you can turn the propeller and it may start due to the magnetos, because they're always ready to fire. So I'll come around here to this side of the engine. And it's the same as the other side. This here is for our brake fluid. We can check the fluid level in there. You always want to make sure that's full, or else you won't have any braking at all. And you check on this side of the engine. Make sure everything is, you can't check everything, but you sort of look over everything, make sure there's no oil leaks, and make sure all the plugs are intact and all the wires are not broken.
What is this net?
Okay, this is your fresh air vent. Each side has one. On the floor of the airplane there are vents you can open up, and fresh air goes through here, is ducted through here, and goes into the cabin. So you always have fresh air going in there at all times. This is where you put the fuel into, and you can look in there and you can see the fuel, and see how much you got, unlike a car. And you just walk around the airplane, make sure there's no cracks or broken tires. Thank you.
This is John Hanna.
Dave Hanna.
Oh, excuse me. Dave Hanna the third. Okay.